Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. New York Federal Reserve said months-long test on digital dollars shows speed advantage. We're going to talk about that. You're going to want to know every single bit of it, by the way. And guess what? How about Ripple going from a $7 billion valuation to $110 billion plus? Yeah, we got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, the cryptocurrency market cap is at $1.22 trillion. We are off by 2.9% today. Wow, rolling into the Friday with some down motion here, some sell-off. Look at this, red everywhere. Bitcoin 30,100 plus. We see Ethereum 1860 and change. Tether market cap is 83.4 billion plus, and XRP is 46 cents underneath of that 48-cent critical line, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started right here because we have a lot to go over. Shout out to Mr. Intuitive, the cool guy, for his Troomers Only episode 7, including Joe Indoso, COO of Linqto, and many other incredible people like John Deaton, digital asset investor, Eleanor Terrett from Fox, and so many others. I tell you, I had the pleasure to sit in with them. I want you to see right now what's coming to Linqto's platform in the next month. It is staggering, ladies and gentlemen. Take a listen.
Listings we could discuss?
Yeah, I mean, this month we're going to have a very busy calendar. So next week we're going to bring another block of Circle, which is, in our view, the preeminent stablecoin company out there, the company that's behind USDC. That's going to be available next week. We'll have a fintech company that allows you to basically maintain a portion of your cash reserves, if you will, in gold bullion that is secure and monetizable, and that's a fintech called Linqto. The week following, we're going to launch another block of Chainalysis, which is a very important infrastructure company that tracks, wallets and token and crypto transactions across all venues around the world. It's used by governments and exchanges. It's the number one factor in that infrastructure vertical. And then a company that's U.S. and very, very, I think, unique. It's called iTrust Capital, and they are the number one company in crypto IRAs. So that's going to be coming on the platform. And then we'll have an HI company that's called H2AI.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot of incredible products coming to Linqto's platform. Circle, Glint, Chainalysis, iTrust, H2AI. I tell you, all of this stuff goes in a matter of minutes, and some of this stuff is going to be the first time ever for iTrust and Glint to make its way to the platform. I'm very excited for them, and you should be excited too. Click the link for Linqto underneath the video and get yourself in there and get accredited so you can get ready to make your purchase. You can fund your account ahead of time too. JP Morgan says the potential approval for spot Bitcoin ETFs by the SEC is unlikely to be a game changer for crypto markets. Who writes this stuff? Oh, goodness. Yeah, let me explain something. So Citadel, Fidelity, right? JP Morgan, BlackRock, right? Invesco, Numera, all these companies want a spot Bitcoin ETF, but it's not because it'll have any impact on the space, ladies and gentlemen. It's they just want it, right? They just want it. Yeah. It's not because it'll have any massive impact. I mean, who believes this? Of course they know what kind of impact it's going to have on the market. That's why they're all in line to get it. Oh, brother. This is how dumb they think all of us are. It really is. This is how little they think of us. Most of the institutional people and investors refer to retail investors like you and I as dumb money. but we're not. Susan Friedman, head of policy at Ripple, has highlighted the potential of London as a central hub for the growing digital currency ecosystem. Now, this is a reminder because about where we're getting ready to go here. And I know most of you know that, so I'm setting the stage here. Now, I want you to listen to Luann Lim, CEO of HSBC, Ripple partner, right, Hong Kong, regarding virtual assets and CBDCs. Take a quick listen to this.
So Hong Kong is again at the forefront in areas like asset tokenization, digital currency, the internationalization of the renminbi. Tokenization, it has the potential to open a new chapter in financial services, making it faster, cheaper, more accessible to more people. So it's great to see HKMA leading the way earlier this year with its tokenized green bonds, and we're proud to be an arranger of the first ever issuance by a government globally. When it comes to currencies, we remain deeply engaged in the ongoing, debate over virtual assets, and we do support the government's outreach to virtual asset service providers. But in the long term, we believe it will be central bank digital currencies or CBDCs that will trigger the real revolution.
Well, there you go. Right, secret's out. HSBC's telling you what the game plan is. All of this suppression going on is because we haven't fully rolled out our CBDCs. The real revolution will be the launch of CBDCs, and that's what will trigger the real revolution. You know, this is just truth happening right here. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Subjective Views. Give them a follow. They are crushing it out here, as are others, I tell you. And then there's this. Speaking of CBDCs, the test was done on a private blockchain that requires permission to participate. Really? Rather than public blockchains commonly seen in the world of cryptocurrencies. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Fed says months-long test on digital dollar shows speed advantage. Well, they don't say what private network they were on. I don't know. Is it XLM? Is it XRP Ledger? Is it something else? I do not know the answer. But I tell you what, I'm excited to find out. This here, I want to give you this, and this is including some of the largest banks in the world, ladies and gentlemen. The Fed's New York Innovation Center spent 12 weeks testing technology known as a regulated liability network, RLNs, baby. We've talked about this. Regulated liability networks, RLNs, we've covered this, which allows banks to simulate issuing digital money representing their customers' own funds before settling through central bank reserves on a distributed ledger. The test proved to the Fed that these so-called digital dollars have the ability to improve wholesale payments. Now, listen, I just want to go over this because a lot of this sounds like what we know. World Economic Forum back in the day, what did they say? Wholesale payments, CBDCs, XRP, JPM coin. All of this is lining up to me, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you that. And then it goes on here to show that Wells Fargo and Citigroup are in fact participating in this New York Fed digital dollar test that was successful, by the way. And they see the advantage of it. The test was done on the private blockchain that requires permission to participate. And we know that projects concluded that it didn't identify any insuperable legal impediments under existing U.S. laws that would prevent establishment of such a digital dollar. Still further engagement with regulators would be required before reaching a final conclusion. You see that? There is any insuperable legal impediments. They did not identify any. So that means there's no legal holdup here. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the decision in this SEC versus Ripple case, if it would further reveal any more deep relationships inside the financial system. It's all about the back end. Look, whether you're someone who believes that it's a grassroots bottom-up or top-down approach, I happen to believe it's like, let's get it from both ends, because that makes the most sense to me, right? But let's not mistake anything. Whether you're coming grassroots or the top-down, you need to get the back-end wholesale side of payments done properly, legally, regulated. all of the things that we know, which is why I believe FedNow has been such a big deal, and it rolls out on July 20th in just another 13 days, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Yeah. Now, I'm not suggesting and have never suggested that FedNow will use XRP, and it's fine with me if they find a reason to do it. But really, this is about moving to a new set of payment rails. That's what's going on here. And that is going to allow, along with the standardized messaging and adoption of ISO 20022, to allow for the coding of digital assets like CBDCs, stablecoins, XRP, XLM, and others, to be incorporated with that messaging, standardization, and the movement and settlement of value. The organization of domestic liquidity. Don't believe it. It's still true. Here's Ripple partner Finastra talking about FedNow and how it will accelerate real-time payment growth dramatically. Don't believe me, but you might want to believe him.
Briefly, real-time payments or instant payments have been around for quite some time. Actually, if you look at a timeline of when this all started globally, Japan started in 1973. And there's multiple countries from that point up until now that have signed up for faster payments. The United States is really one of the last major countries to sign up for this. But it's been around for over 40 years, over 50 countries. And as Mihail pointed out, Finastra has been involved globally with all of these initiatives, implementing different faster payment schemes everywhere. I think one of the key points to try to take away from why you want to be involved in faster payments, I think this is going to accelerate growth dramatically. Once you're on a system within the United States in the FedNow environment, it will create interoperability between the countries, between cross-border systems. So I think there'll be a great opportunity for everyone. And, I like to say that it's not if, it's when people will go on.
That's right. It's not if, it's when. That's a Ripple partner telling you that. And he further believes that they will go on to see 100% adoption inside of FedNow. That's how strongly he believes that. Now, we got to move quickly because we got some more to go over, and I don't want to get this too long here. How XRP was directly tested against international regulations. Right here. CentB tested the regulatory treatment of crypto assets, and it goes down through here. Crypto assets, specifically XRP, being used. Others were tested. We're interested in XRP being used for affecting low-value cross-border remittances between South Africa and, you guessed it, the UK, and vice versa, subject to certain limits prescribed by the relevant authorities, it goes on to say. Now we look over here and hear another test here done in Zago. Zago tested the regulatory treatment of crypto assets, specifically Ripple XRP, in terms of exchange control regulations promulgated in terms of Section 9 of the Currency Exchanges Act. The Currency Exchanges Act, not the Securities Act, but the Currency Exchanges Act, ladies and gentlemen. Again, South Africa, UK cited here. It goes back to what Susan Friedman, head of Ripple policy, says about the UK being a crypto hub. Then there's this. Last night in the Troomers Only episode 7, we had the pleasure of hearing Linda P. Jones break down for all of us exactly how Ripple could go from a $7+ billion valuation to a $110 billion valuation in the blink of an eye, essentially. And I want you to take a listen to this. Let me cue it up.
In a buyback.
Got it.
I
Here
thought
we go.
from my college days, my brain was a little mushy and I missed it. But Linda P. Jones, please.
Well, I just wanted to say something to Eleanor because I do these back of the envelope calculations, and we had, a lot of price movement in Ripple. And so there was speculation about what was causing that. Was there some sort of insider knowledge? And, basically I said it was due to the new ATS pricing model that Linqto is using. So maybe when I'm done, Joe can and just elaborate on that. But
Yep.
What's really interesting is in 2020, Ripple was valued at $10 billion in a buyback of stock that they did. In 2022, Ripple was valued at $15 billion in a buyback of their stock. And then because of the bear market last year, all private equity pretty much has taken a valuation right down. And so right now, as of this morning on Linqto's platform, Ripple is valued at only $7.6 billion, which is roughly half of where it was in 2022. And some people think because their price has gone up quite a bit that maybe it's not that great of a deal, but I still really think it is. And that's because with their valuation being half of what it was in 2022, we can do a comparable valuation to a company with similar growth in the same sector. Now, that's really difficult to do with Ripple, but there's probably one company that we could agree on that you could use for that, and that would be Coinbase. And Coinbase went public at a valuation of $86 billion. And so if Ripple were able to reach a valuation of $86 billion before it IPO'd, if you divide the 7.6 billion valuation it is today, that's an over 11 times increase in price from where it is today, or 11 times value. And that's without any XRP on the balance sheet. That's not valuing XRP at all. We know they have about 48 billion XRP, and at 50 cents roughly today for easy math, that's about $24 billion in value.
And remember very quickly, and to Linda's point, Ripple keeps XRP on their balance sheet at $0. Keep listening. Currently.
So right now they value it at zero, but there's 24 billion of value out there that, might be added to the 86 billion possibly, which would get it to 110 billion. You divide that by the 7.6 billion that Linqto has it valued at today, that's 14 times your investment. So not financial advice, but full disclosure, I'm a Ripple shareholder. I love the stock because I think in the XRP community, we look at Ripple and we look at XRP every single day. And I had to do research on both for my book back in 2020. And since that time, about every day, I know something about one or both. And I feel like I haven't researched any company as well as I have this company. So I feel really comfortable investing in that, but everybody has to make their own decisions. But think about it. This is without a bump in price due to the end of the lawsuit. This is without a bump in price that would come when they make an IPO announcement. This is without any disclosure of accounts that they have that they are holding back during the lawsuit time, that they're not announcing certain important customers that they've acquired because those customers don't want to be associated during the lawsuit. So presumably there may be an Amazon or Apple out there that they have an agreement with that we don't know about formally yet. They may be the only asset that gets regulatory clarity possibly. I mean, there's all these things that could dramatically increase the value that isn't in my back of the envelope calculation. So,
but I tell you what, it is certainly food for thought, ladies and gentlemen, and understanding that whether it's September or whether it's today, whenever we get that decision from the judge in the SEC versus Ripple case, I believe it is going to inform us exactly just how spot on this back of the envelope calculation may be from Linda P. Jones. Make sure you give all of them a follow, and shout out to Linda for sharing those insights and that speculation there to consider. Look, I am extremely excited. I don't know how long it takes us to get a decision, but I don't think Ripple has gone through all of this so they could lose. I don't think that Ripple has gone through the back-breaking work to build the infrastructure that's needed for the plumbing of the financial system around the world so they could not be a part of it at the end of the day. I think actually getting this decision in the SEC versus Ripple case and having it be favorable to move forward will be but a keystone in watching the world unfold in this brand new financial revolution. All right, that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.